What's going on, wrestling family? Welcome back to the channel. I got a good 20 minutes before I got to get ready for work, so I figured I would do a quick prediction video for Wrestlepalooza for you guys. So before we get into it, if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, I would love to know what your predictions are in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get into the predictions. The first match we have on the card is the much anticipated AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. This is going to be AJ Lee's first match in over a decade, so it's going to be very interesting to see how she moves in the ring, how she fares against someone like Becky Lynch. And personally, I think she's going to do okay, but it's still going to be interesting to see what happened there. But out of all the matches on this card, I feel like this one is the easiest to predict, and I'm going to pick AJ Lee and CM Punk to win this match. In fact, I'm gonna have AJ Lee pinning Becky Lynch to win this match for a couple of reasons. For one, you're not gonna have AJ Lee come back after a 10-year hiatus and lose her first match back. You're not gonna do that. Number two, I think her pinning Becky Lynch is going to be the catalyst that'll start their feud leading up to their IC title match. I can see Becky Lynch trying to discredit AJ Lee for pinning her because it wasn't a traditional one-on-one match. Sports Illustrated said it, Chicago Tribune said it, the Jet magazine said it. Her ego is going to get in the way, and she can't accept the fact that she got pinned by AJ Lee. And I think AJ Lee will use that to manipulate her and poke at her ego and say, if you want that to go away, if you want to act like it never existed, watched it for the history book, you got to give me a one-on-one match for that IC title. And if you win that, then that match never happened. In fact, we can say that you won it. And I think Becky's ego will not allow her to decline that offer. And I think that's what's going to happen. We'll probably get that match at Perth or maybe at Survivor Series, one or the other. But it sounds better to happen at Perth than it does at, you know, Survivor Series, because Survivor Series is in November. But I don't know. Eventually, they're going to have that match. AJ Lee is eventually going to get the IC title. So that's what I got for that. The next match we have on the card is the Usos versus the Braun Boys. Now, as much as I love the Usos being back together, it's a couple of things we've seen recently that suggest that the boys are going to lose. Number one, we've seen that there is a fraction between the two when Jimmy Uso was talking to Jey Uso backstage and saying that I don't like taking orders from you. He's even hinted at the fact that Jey Uso is starting to sound and look like Roman Reigns from last week's episode of Monday Night Raw, and the seeds that have been planting about Jey Uso potentially turning heel. I think all of that is going to play a role in this match. There's going to be some type of miscommunication between the two, and maybe Jimmy Uso is going to take the pin and Jey Uso is going to get upset and disappointed in him and probably just walk out of the ring, not even help him up, and that's going to start the split between the two. But in addition to that, you need the Braun Boys to win. They lost at SummerSlam against Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. Bronson Reed lost that Clash at Paris. So they need to get some type of win for the Vision to secure them as a serious tag team. And I think this is the day that they will absolutely do that. I got the Braun Boys winning this match. The next match we have on the card is for the vacant Women's World Championship between Io Sky and Stephanie Vaquer. Now, I'll be honest. Originally, I picked Stephanie because I'm a huge fan of hers, and it just makes sense for her to win that title, and then Io can go on and have this whole situation with Kairi Sane and Asuka and Rhea Ripley, because that does not need the title at all, and she just had the championship, so why give it back to her? But there's a couple of things that happened here that also pretty much changed my mind. Now, as far as Stephanie, she is completely talented, but the way that they presented her, as in not presenting her at all until last night on Raw, I don't think she's been acclimated with the crowd well enough. And speaking of Monday, she beat Kairi Sane in a match, and then you see Asuka coming out, and Io Sky pretty much had to say, Asuka, just relax, heal, relax, chill out, okay? And with that happening, I think that's going to play a role in this match. What I think is going to happen is Kairi and Asuka are going to get involved in this match, probably attack Stephanie Vaquer when Io Sky is knocked out, roll Stephanie back into the ring. Io's going to look around like, I don't know what happened. She's going to pin her, she's going to win that championship, but she's going to find out later exactly what happened and going to get disappointed with Asuka and kind of feel some sort of regret for winning that championship like she doesn't deserve it, because she isn't a person who wants to win it like that, and she's probably going to apologize to Stephanie Vaquer. Now, why would Asuka and Kairi Sane do this? Asuka at this point, as we know, are jealous of Io Sky's friendship with Rhea Ripley. I think more importantly, she is upset that she no longer has control over Io Sky. So helping Io win this championship, she's gonna pretty much be in the position where you owe me. I'm the one who helped you get that championship. Why would you trust this other person like Rhea Ripley or anyone else? They didn't help you, I helped you, so you gotta do what I say, and that's gonna cause the friction between those two and eventually lead up to a tag team match at Clash at Perth, or I'm sorry, Crown Jewel Perth, between Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, and then eventually we'll get Asuka versus Io Sky in a championship match, which I am looking forward to. But at the end of the day, I got Io Sky winning this championship. Stephanie Vaquer, she will be okay. I think she should eventually be the women's IC champion before she becomes the women's world championship or champion. But if she gets that title on Saturday, I personally wouldn't be mad about that either. I would just be very curious as to what they do with her, because a lot of people, when they win that top championship, before they win that mid card, there's nowhere else to go but down from that point. So hopefully they know exactly what they're doing with her. The next match we have on the card is the Super Saiyan Pastor Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed Championship. Now this one, I got Cody Rhodes winning this match because I think in Cody Rhodes feud fashion, this thing between him and Drew McIntyre is going to go into 3 matches. I think it is. And I think the third match is where Drew McIntyre is going to win that title from Cody Rhodes. I think Randy Orton's actually going to turn on Cody and cost him that title because he's going to get pretty jealous at Cody for giving Drew McIntyre multiple opportunities. And remember back when he gave Kevin Owens an opportunity as title, Randy is probably like, I've been here the whole time. You're offering people who never had your back, who never had your best interests at heart. You're giving them title opportunities, but you never gave one to me. And I think that's going to spin off into their feud, and Drew McIntyre is going to move on to somebody else. And I think that is the best thing they can do for SmackDown, is putting this title on Drew McIntyre, because now we got a wealth of baby faces he can have feuds for and give opportunities to and give a nice rub to, pause, in that situation. So right now I got Cody winning, and the third match will probably be at Survivor Series. I got Drew McIntyre winning there. And the last match we have on the card is a long feud between these two gentlemen, Cena versus Brock Lesnar in the main event. So in this match, I would personally, this one is kind of hard to pick. Now you want John Cena to win because this is a retirement tour, but it is Brock Lesnar, so you kind of don't want to seem like the beast has been tamed. So I'm going to pick, this is a tough one. I'm going to pick John Cena to win this match. But I think after the match, Brock Lesnar is going to destroy John Cena. And I can see Sami Zayn coming out there for the save. And that can spin off into a feud between Sami Zayn and Brock Lesnar. Because John Cena is not going to be showing up on TV after Wrestlepalooza for a while. So he needs a reason to get written off of TV. So he can get destroyed by him, or, giving credit to Wolf, maybe Gunther returns and attacks John Cena. Either way, John Cena is going to get packed up, okay? He's going to be gone for a couple weeks. But if it's Brock Lesnar to attack John Cena and Sami Zayn comes out there to save John Cena with a chair or something like that, that gives Brock Lesnar something to do at least while he's here. Hopefully he has a match against Sami Zayn at Perth, or maybe at Survivor Series or something. I think Brock Lesnar is the rite of passage when it comes to baby faces. John Cena, Daniel Bryan, Finn Balor, CM Punk, the list goes on and on. So I think Sami Zayn, Triple H, that's one of Triple H's favorites, and I think he wants to position him as this huge baby face. So this is probably the route they have to take, because eventually Sami Zayn is going to run out of people to face in the US Open Challenge on SmackDown. So those are my picks for the show. I tried to do this really quick. Again, let me know in the comment section what your picks are. What do you agree with? What do you disagree with? I would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute, peace, have a great day.